We are live and I am inviting people to join me today. So this might be a little bit of a show in the beginning. So let me let me get started with that and then I'll get back for you. I'll get back to you. But we are super excited today to have let me see. Okay. Okay, Britta, I sent yours. Leopold, it's not giving me the option to send it to you, so can you check and see if you follow me? Because I'm going to check it again. I'm going to check it again. Let me get Colette, because we are live already, guys, because I can't invite anybody unless, I can't invite anybody unless we are live. So we're live, just so you know, you're live.
Hello.
No hot mics, we're live, we're live. I don't know why Leopold is grayed out. Colette should be coming on. I just invited her. I don't know why. I'm not sure. I don't know if that has something to do with him being in a different country.
Interesting.
I don't know. That is interesting. Okay.
And it doesn't matter, like, if you have a business page versus a personal one or anything, right?
I don't think so, because I was able to invite you.
Yeah.
Leopold, make sure you follow me. I think you do, but go ahead and check that again. I'm just going to Google it real quick and see. If anyone knows that's in the live already, you can let me know. If I don't think it would matter. I don't think it should be a problem. Okay. Let me check that again. Okay. Okay. So I've invited Colette. Leopold, I'm still having an issue trying to get you invited. Hold on. Oh, no, yeah, now you're good, Leopold. I just sent it. See if you're good. Of course it's going to be like this, but this is the fun part of lives.
Yeah. Got to go with the flow.
I know. There we go. Okay, Leopold.
Somebody's keyboard.
I know.
Okay. I have to go to the mobile phone.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, the computer didn't work.
Huh.
Okay, good. Well, I'm glad that you are able to be invited. Let me check Colette again. I think I invited her. Yep, she's invited. She should join. It said she's unable to join, so I'm going to invite her again. We'll see. She can come on, jump on. So I wasn't sure if you're in the Netherlands, aren't you, Leopold?
No, in Sweden.
Sweden. Okay. I was like, do you do daylight savings time? It dawned on me at 10:30 that we might have confusion. I was like, I don't even know if I can do it. Holy crap.
I have a technical issue.
Yeah.
How do I make my followers on Instagram know that I'm live with you?
I think it should do it. It should tell them when you're live that so they can join.
Okay, fine.
It should tell them if anyone knows anything else, because I remember being on lives with other people and people that followed me were on that live.
Okay.
And not
No problem.
It should be fine. If not, I'm also going to send you guys the link after, and you guys can share it with your followers. If anyone, I don't know if Britta, do you know if there's another way to do that, or?
Yeah, I'm not sure. All I know is I'm looking at Instagram because I'm using my phone to talk to you guys, but now I'm looking on my computer and at Instagram, and it doesn't say that I'm live. So anyway,
Okay.
well, just things we can figure out later.
Yeah, these are things we can mesh push them later. Let me check Colette again.
Yeah, I know she's around. I was texting with her a little while ago.
Okay. I'm going to invite her again and see how that works. Okay. So we can give. Oh, go.
Hi.
Sorry.
For some reason, it wouldn't work on my laptop, so I'm on my phone, but that's fine.
That's what Leopold said. The same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you have to be on a phone.
Okay.
I didn't realize that at first, but now everyone says the same thing because I just go straight from my phone when I go live. The text desktop part of that I don't think is good. So okay. Okay, so why don't you want to go around and introduce yourself now, just so our audience knows. We did not rehearse this. We didn't talk about pre-designed topics. I have a couple things, and I'm sure if anyone wants to bring anything else, we're happy to answer questions today. We just wanted to kind of come on and have some fun and provide some support for the collectives and just show that there's just not just one of us doing Ascension. We're all doing it. So if everyone wants to go around, introduce yourself, go ahead and we'll do that now. We can start. Now, I don't know if you guys see the same way I do on the screen. Britta, we'll go Britta, Leopold, and then Colette. Okay. So Britta, you go first.
Hi, I'm Britta Holmberg, and I'm in San Jose, California. And I have a website called ourbrilliantlight.com, and I do intuitive guidance work and Akashic Records readings and animal communication and light language, and love creating herbal potions. And yeah, super happy to be here. It's been fun doing some gatherings with the four of us and looking to support everybody.
Super fun. Okay, Leopold.
Hi everyone, I'm Leopold. I'm from Sweden in the town called Örebro, and I'm a transformational life coach. And I want to help people to help them in their life to find their way back to the heart.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, Colette.
Hi, everyone. My name is Colette Ferrigno. I'm from East Haven, Connecticut, and I'm on this Ascension journey, and I am just here to support and answer any questions that anybody might have who's also going through the journey. So, hello.
Okay, so I'm going to start with, I had a couple of things that I thought were kind of fun, but I did want to share this story first to kind of get us all in the mood. I was out with some kids trick-or-treating, and there was a little, he was probably like 5 years old. He was dressed as an Avenger, and he was coming back off a porch, and he fell, like off the porch. And he was like, I'm okay. And then he back up. And it kind of made me think of our Ascension journey, you know, when we fall and we're like, I'm okay. And then we pop back up again. We've all had that. I'm okay. So funny. I was like, holy crap. And he was just, he ate it. He just bit the dust. And then he's like, I'm okay. And then he popped back. I didn't think his parents even knew he'd fallen. He's like, I'm okay. So now we can go a couple different ways with this. We can talk a little bit about how it was a couple of things, finding our voices, which I think does change along the way for us, of what that means to us, and how that shifts as we go, right? Because we don't always, we can start out being really aggressive about speaking a lot if we never spoke, and then we can kind of sidestep that and feel like we're not supposed to speak at all. So when to speak up, and what are you speaking for? Are you speaking for old Earth? Are you speaking for, ascended Earth, new realities, old realities? That was one topic I thought would be fun. And another was, I saw this actually posted on YouTube. Someone had posted it about messages from your parallel selves. And I thought that was interesting to see how you guys communicate, bring in different dimensions of yourselves, and when you feel like you are experiencing something like that, or experiences you've had with that, because a lot of people, we have these experiences we don't realize. Like at 10:30, I was like, oh, there might be confusion. I can feel like there's confusion maybe about the time. And I went on and saw I had a couple emails about the time, but I could just feel that in my field. I was like, oh wait, there's a little bit of confusion. It's daylight savings time. And these are little things that happen that we don't connect the dots of. Our human consciousness doesn't connect the dots of it because it doesn't have the vision yet. But it's happening to me. When I look back, it was happening when I was in my human consciousness, but you don't see it. You don't see how it's all connected because it's not connected 1, 2, 3. It's connected 4, 10, 15, and 18. And then 277. It's not all connected the same way. So you can go on either topic you want to go on, or you can bring a whole new topic. And we'll just kind of raise your hand since there's 3 of us. I'm going to throw those out to you guys. Anyone who wants to talk about either or something totally different, that's fine. So who wants to go? Okay, Colette, go.
I could talk on speaking, what we're speaking on. Because for me, when I first started going through this journey, I didn't want to speak at all. I was like totally thinking people are going to think I'm crazy, and not even realizing at the time the journey I was on. It just started happening to me. And then, of course, I found Lisa's community. And, I think for the first, I don't know how many years, I sat there and never said a word. But it just seems like lately, I don't know if it's the more energy that's coming in and the higher frequencies. I am speaking in ways about ascension that I never would before, So yeah, it just I think more people now are waking up to it, and it's good that we're having these conversations. So they don't think they're crazy like I did. I thought I was, what's wrong with me? But I wouldn't voice it. But then when you get to be around more people like, we're doing right now, you realize, wow, this is really happening. I'm not crazy. So that's what I'm finding right now. I'm speaking more. And yeah, I want to be there for that person who's going through it but doesn't know what's happening to them.
Now, Colette, when you were more in your human consciousness, were you a one that would speak out all the time or would never speak out?
No, I never. No.
Okay.
No. Not unless you, that was one of my programs. I had to be backed into a corner,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I can piggyback on that.
Yeah.
All right, go.
If you're done. Yeah. So that's kind of like how I was either not speaking or else really loud and emotional about things. So it was kind of like both, right?
Yeah.
Like these extremes.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, just like what Colette was sharing, maybe not even about ascension in particular, but just with noticing things with in the household with mom and dad, and just being able to speak softer and just speak up about certain things differently, or seeing like a situation coming up and going, oh, okay, this is where I normally would, maybe get a little more triggered. And even if I am triggered, I can still react kind in my power and say it kindly. So just kind of noticing these little just these shifts, they're happening like, they're happening quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've just been noticing that a lot the last few weeks, couple months. So it's like, yay. It's like gotta give ourselves that, right? Like Leopold's video. I think you were just you shared a video recently about celebrating our victories. It's like, oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it a different way. You know?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
No more perfect backlash. Woo!
Everything's a celebration, right?
Yeah. Right. Okay.
It's a very good topic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can I speak?
Oh yeah, I was like, it's all you.
Okay. You mentioned the voice changing. It's very important. For me in the beginning, I didn't want to speak. I didn't want to show myself. and as the ways presented themselves and I started to using them, it gets easier and easier. But as you said, Britta, it changes. And recently I had lots of plans, but it changes every day. So I had to slow down and really feel what I want to do. Because the video I did yesterday, tomorrow morning when I see it, no, I don't want to do this. It changed so quickly. Not that it's bad, but my ascension journey is going, you know what I mean. So that is really important for me to see and feel and dare to go outside my comfort zone. And thank you for letting me go out of my comfort zone today.
Yeah. It's like the one thing I don't like about Instagram is you can't invite people to your already live. So I was like, okay, so we're live. When you come in, know you're live already because there's no window. There's no window. As soon as you come on, your mic is hot. It's coming in hot. I noticed for myself that even I try not to, because I was always kind of the same as Britta. Like I would either say nothing or I would find like I was different at work and at home. You know, we all had this kind of separation of it. Like I'm one way at work and I'm one way at home. I'm kind of a different person. You know, we kind of would separate ourselves off to be a certain way. I do find now that, especially when I'm around a blood family, I've been a lot of ancestral karma clearing. I do feel like I can still feel that emotion come up first, and I just kind of sit with it, and I don't speak. Whereas before, I would speak right away when I was pissed off or angry about something, right? And now I'm like, you know what? Let me just see. Because you can kind of start to see things from a different perspective. You can see their perspective, how they're taking it. How perhaps I'm actually putting it out that's not the best. You know, like you can almost start to hear when you have your human consciousness in there, even if it's just a little bit of a string in there, you start to hear it. You know, you can kind of hear that. It's almost like that human sarcasm in there a little bit. You know, you can still hear it echo. At least for me, I can still hear it echo sometimes. And relationships are one of the hardest things that we are, for me anyway, one of the hardest things to kind of try to maneuver. Because your world does get very small, and you almost after a while you don't really want anybody in it because it feels so hard to align it. And even if you find someone that's in a consciousness, your consciousness, you might not like their energy. I mean, I say not like, you don't resonate with them. So even if the consciousness is good, and in a sense, I don't like the good or bad, the polarity in that, but even if you like their consciousness and you enjoy that wavelength, you might still not want to be around the person that much. But you can really like somebody's energy, but their consciousness is not where you need it to be really be able to have any type of long-term connection. Like if it's just someone you see every 6 months, I don't give a shit. You know, it doesn't matter what their conscious level is. It doesn't really matter to me. But when it's talking about everyday life and having people in your life every day, how do you guys go about really looking at that now? Because I know that has changed for me, and I've pretty much really been by myself for the last 10 years, pretty much. Because it has gotten really hard to, like I said, I might like the person. You might even feel that twin flame connection if you want to go into twin flames. But when you look at the consciousness, you're like, that just can't work. You know, like, there's no way that's going to work, even though you can feel the connection with someone, but the consciousness isn't there. So we can go, raise your hand who wants to start. Okay, Leopold, go.
That was the hardest thing for me to do a couple of years ago. To say, okay, this is not me anymore. I'm moving. going from situations to be myself. And it was really important to be myself now, looking back those years. But I remember, can I say that? Can I do that? It was a lot of fear coming up. But it was the best decision yet. And you are correct. I'm single. I'm still, but I'm best with myself right now. It's developing. So I understand what you're saying. But that was the important thing for me to go and do it. If someone is listening, follow your feelings, follow what you're believing, and just do it.
Yeah, I agree, Leo. I find that this requires a lot of alone time, you know. And just recently, I have energetically been unplugging myself from situations that I don't want to put my energy in anymore. You know, it's all energetic, and I'm not going there, and it feels wonderful. I mean, you know, being around people is a little challenging when they're on a whole, when you're on a whole nother, you know, level. But I always find that now it seems to just flow. I can, you know, I can handle it better. It seems to flow. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because I don't have, really many people that I see on a regular basis besides my parents who I live with. There's, it's interesting though, a couple of probably long-term friendships. It's interesting how they kind of just, you know, they just kind of, you know, like organically just, and it's, you know, there might be like a phone call. Yeah, there might be like a phone call, or like you said, every 6 months kind of thing. But it's just like, it's just not aligned anymore. It's just floating away. And and you know, working, there's a couple pieces of working through some, you know, maybe some tendrils of maybe some, you know, maybe a little cord cutting I need to do still, a little bit of working through a little bits of grief around it. It's not like it's there all the time, but you know, it'll just come in and be like, oh, remember that time, you know, we had, and it's like, cut the cords. That's in the past, and work through the grief around it. And it goes quickly though, which is so awesome. It's like you can sit and work through the grief, and then it's like gone a half an hour later, or I mean, sometimes longer, but it's amazing.
I think there is a lot of go ahead, Colette, go ahead.
I just have noticed myself also, like some of the friendships, like you'll part, and then sometimes they'll go away, and then when they come back as you know, a whole different, you know, they've been doing their journey too. So sometimes you can come together after, you know, a little separation. I've noticed that.
Because you do get a different aspect of them. You know, as we rise, they rise too, or they show us something different. Or they can't, because they're not at the place to have that capacity yet, and then they just go away altogether because they're just not, or for now. You know, I always, when I do any relationship video, I always say it doesn't mean they're gone forever. Now, I will say it looks like majority of mine have been. You know, I cannot speak for mine. Most of the time, it is easier to bond with people that are on the same, that have the same consciousness, working toward the same elevations in consciousness and body consciousness, than it is to have long-term discussions with someone who's still very much attached to the human consciousness. You know, now that being said, like I said, if someone's in my life for 20 minutes, it doesn't matter. You don't really care about the decisions they make. You don't really care what they're doing, in a sense. I mean, you care and you love the soul, but you don't get really bogged down in, there's a a show I was watching. It was kind of cheeky, you know, it was kind of a cheeky show about witches. And the girl said to another, they were in this thing and that they were trying to get out of this hole or something, or a bag. And two of them had gotten out. The other one was trying to get out, and she's fighting to get out. And the one was going to help her. And the woman said, don't save her from her struggle. And I wrote that down. I'm like, that's kind of a fun. It was kind of, like I said, they did it very tongue in cheek. But we get to that where it's like, yeah, don't save her from their struggle. And that, I think, is a hard thing to do when you can see what's going to happen. And when I say see what's going to happen, you can see how that timeline's going to play if it stays on the same frequency. You know, if it stays on the same track, you can see the train coming for them because it came for all of us, you know. And how do you guys go about that type of guidance, I guess, when you see someone? And, you know, we do care deeply about people. I think a lot of people think I'm kind of cold because I don't get really involved in people to the extent I did as a human consciousness, you know. So I think I can come off kind of cold and unfeeling, but I think we do feel a lot, you know. Yes. It's just it's a different type of almost like letting people fall, because if they don't fall, if you're not like that kid that fell and said, hey, I'm okay, and let them get back up on their own, they miss so much of the journey. You're trying to save them from themselves in a sense. And I know, even though there were lots of things I could have saved myself from, I didn't want to listen, so it would have fallen on deaf ears. So maybe we can do a little discussion on how do you go about, like, Britt, I know with your parents, if when you see a train coming for them, or you see, or anybody, it doesn't matter, how do we, what are different ways you guys will work with that energy of, you know, don't save them from their struggle. I really wish we could go a different way. This timeline is not heading where you think the timeline's going to head. You know, the train is coming, and you pretty much just keep you pretty much tying yourself to the track over and over again. And you know, so anyway, whoever wants to go first, just raise their hand and we'll just go around again. Okay, go.
It just makes me think of a conversation at dinner last night with my mom and dad, and I was really excited about, like, a meal I was cooking, so it was nice to sit down and share it with them. And my mom was talking about the election and a certain candidate, and, you know, I had a lot of emotion around it, and my dad said, let's not talk about politics. And I was like, I'm okay. You know, you guys can talk. It's you know, it's fine. I'm sitting here. I can be present, and I just, you know, I just said, but just, you know, remember, just know that everything's going to be okay. Whatever ends up happening, everything's going to be okay. And, you know, there was a little more discussion, not a lot, but and, you know, I've let them know that I'm always available to, if they've got feelings or things to talk about around anything in the world, you know, anything with the news and events and things. And so I guess, like, yeah, it's just like, it's such a moment by moment situation, or, you know, right, to, like, whatever, like, topic or thing comes up, like, how to respond. I definitely can see, and just with, you know, maybe a health journey like my dad has gone on and things, like, I could see probably how sometimes I maybe could go into a little bit of like savior, you know.
Yeah.
And but I feel like I'm learning about that aspect of me more, and stepping back more. But yeah, it is such a fine line to know when to support and when to to not save them, or to not go in and try to, like, pull them out of that bag, you know. And I know I kind of, like, went on a couple different topics there. But it's just such a fine line between, but I feel like I'm becoming more empowered every time a situation comes up, and I'm able to yeah, just really be present with it and feel like, feel confident that I'm making a good decision in the moment. So whether or not to kind of dive in more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could speak to that too, Britta. That was one of my things. That was huge. One, to save everybody. That's what I did. I ran around trying to save the world. And so that was huge for me. When I came to my own realization that I'm not helping them, I'm hindering their journey, and not that everybody listens to you anyway. I would be giving all my energy away, like, do this and, be this way. And how about if you try this? And then they would go off and not, not do a thing I had said anyway. So, and then I came to the realization that that's it. I'm done. I unplugged from that. That was one of the things I unplugged from doing. And I have more energy for me. And people kind of got a little pissed off because they used to getting that version of you who they can call or run to, when things go shitty.
Yeah.
And that aspect is not there anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a big one for me.
I recognize myself big time. In the early days, I wanted to save everyone as well, with or without their consent. So it was some clashes.
Yeah.
It was some clashes sometimes, and then I realized, because some people mirrored that back to me.
Yeah.
In my close family, and they were on the mission to save me because I'm bad and I'm not, and then I realized I can't do that anymore. So I have no problem actually nowadays to see, and the message and the sentence you said, don't save them from their struggle, is very deep meaning in that one, and it's a good one.
Yeah.
And I don't want to take away any soul here, what they come here to experience, because we are a soul in a body.
Yeah.
And now I understand that. So I say yes to helping people help themselves.
It's funny
That's what I am.
when you, Leopold, there's something you said there that I probably never noticed it before, when you said they mirror it back. Because I know when I started really going full on into Ascension and really disconnecting from human jobs, and we know all the money things that can come from that, and all the, I don't want to say fallout from that, because you're so different. And the people who are still in that consciousness don't understand what you're doing. You feel like you've gone crazy. They're trying to save you. And it was just, I never really put together that was kind of a mirroring effect, because I got to the point where if people don't ask my opinion, I don't give my opinion, because when no one's asking for it, they're not listening anyway. They don't want to hear it. And then I was in the same position sometimes where Colette was in, where people would ask and you give it to them, they go off and do the same damn thing we've done 15 times. And it's like, why do I even bother? You're not even tying yourself to the track. You're just doubling down, man. I mean, but I know I did the same thing. I mean, I would listen to Lisa's calls about a lot of stuff back in, back 2016, 2017. And I remember thinking, oh, I've already done that part. Oh, that's not me. And I've already done all that. And I'm way past that. And I'd go do the same thing she's telling me don't do. I was like, why is this not working? Because I want to listen. Even I'm listening. Yeah. And she is activating my consciousness. It's raising my body consciousness. And that's why all this stuff's starting to go to shit, because everything's that's not, this consciousness is going to fall away. We don't see it like that in the beginning. We just think their whole life we did it wrong. This is a blowing up in my face. Everyone else is moonlight and roses, and this is like a shitstorm over here. So it was very interesting to kind of watch, just see, like, I did the same. So it is, when we see it, I'm like, I'm glad I went through what I had to go through. I'm glad that I had support, and would I say people tried to save me? Maybe a little. And then we get to the point where we can't take that anymore. You know, it's like, here's, because it has
No.
strings to it, right? Like the human saves us, but with strings. I'll save you, you know, but you got to do what I want you to do. And I think in Ascension, we kind of, at least I know I could play with that a little bit too in the beginning where, oh, I want you to do this, but I want you to do it my way. I want you to go on my path. You know, I want to drag you with me, and they're not ready to go. It's not their time yet. They're just not ready to leave it yet.
Exactly.
And I want to touch one thing, because Britta, you brought up the people talking about politics. It's really a hot button in the United States right now. One thing that has surprised me, because my parents watch a lot of it, and I have been surprised that I have kind of seen so much of it, which kind of showed me it was still somewhere in my body. I was still connected somewhere up to that divisiveness in it, because I could feel myself like, oh yeah, look at that. Oh yeah, look at that. And I'm like, wow, I'm kind of surprised I can still kind of feel that in there, you know, because I don't participate in human realities anymore, and that's what I don't participate in. How it comes out is how it comes out, and we'll see how the collectives are going to realign after, and we'll be here to support in whichever way we can, you know. But I did find myself, when it got amplified, and the last few months it's been very amplified. I noticed it in my field amplified, and I found myself taking a side, and I was shocked at that, you know, because I thought I was past that. So we can talk a little bit. It doesn't have to be on that, but that was one thing I noticed with me, where I'm like, it's still in my body somewhere. So I know I was looking and trying to dig that out. I'm like, where is it in my body that I care? Yeah. You know, because I could tell you for the last election for that, I didn't care. I was completely disconnected, but in a different way. And now, once it got amplified, it was showing up, and I found myself going a little bit of, yeah, that's not right. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah. And I was like, wow, that's crazy, because I didn't think I was even there anymore. So it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have to be on politics, but that was just where I was noticing it when it got really turned up, that it activated. So I was still carrying that division, that us against them, that, you know, you're right, you're wrong, that kind of thing. So like I said, it doesn't have to be on politics, but if anyone wants to talk about feeling that, and go ahead, Colette.
Yeah, I went through a similar kind of feeling in my field too. I was doing that also. I noticed it, but I wanted to share something that I saw actually on Instagram that was really cool today. I don't know if any of you guys know who Billy Carson is. He's okay, so he had a thing on Instagram, and it was a picture of himself. You know how everybody's got that "I voted today" sticker? So he had "I voted today," and then the caption was "I voted for me today." You know, I didn't give my sovereignty away, and I voted for me. And imagine, he said, if everybody did that, the world would change overnight. And I just thought that was really cool, you know, doing that. But people don't like it, you know, when you tell them you don't vote, you kind of get, you know. Yeah, people think you're like out there.
Yeah,
you know,
way out there.
I'm okay with being that out there now. You know, I'm okay with it. So
well, you got to walk it, and if we say we disconnect, then I disconnect.
Yeah.
You know, I could see myself getting sucked back in, not enough to go vote, because I participate in the human stuff, the structure, but I could feel the push and the pull. Yeah. And I was shocked at that with him. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Britta.
Well, I was just going to say that I can relate to that, because I know that I had to share with a group of people in a text that to not, you know, I didn't want to be involved in any political talk, and that, you know, I present myself as I'm neutral. I'm neutral to the candidates but what you said in that is true, because I feel like there's a part of me though that has a hope for one versus the other. So
yeah, I do too. I do too, if I'm honest. Yeah. I really do. Yeah. I do.
Yeah.
And it probably wouldn't be the one you think, and that was the funny part.
Well,
It did,
Yeah,
and I was shocked at that. I was shocked I'd even care.
yeah. So, yeah, but it's definitely, I mean, whatever ends up happening, it's going to be like maybe if we have to do a little bit of clearing because it's the
Yeah.
opposite of what that part of us kind of wanted. It's gonna be, gosh, it's just what, as Lisa has shared, it's like 50% of the country
is going to be
be going through it.
Yeah.
So,
It's going to be
let
going
alone
through
other
it.
people in the world and stuff that have been following this circus.
And
Yeah.
it's
all
funny because
it's all separation. It's
Yeah.
and
I can relate to it.
it's pitting us against each other, and I could see all of that. And even when I say, well, I'd rather have this and that, and then I'm trying to get to dissolve that because I want to disconnect from it. I'm still somewhere attached to that collective. I feel like it's the body, in my body consciousness is still there somewhere. Whatever's highest line for the collectives, whichever one it is. And that's what I said this morning. I'm like, whatever's highest line for whatever the collectives have to go through. Well, could it be a very rough ride? Yes. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yes, it could. So, Leopold, I want you to talk on it. So I don't want to get into your. Go ahead.
I can relate to it.
Yeah.
But I don't put too many feelings in the election in your country right now. But I understand that it's very important to let people go through, as you said, to experience what they're here to do, to wake up. And you talk about the election. I'm a free living man, and when I talk about that subject back here in Sweden, it's that same. You're crazy.
Yeah.
You're out there on the edge. But it's really important. When I talk to people one-on-one and they are relaxed, they agreed. Of course, you're sovereign.
Yeah.
You live your own life as you're meant to, and etc. So I can relate to sticking the chin out and saying what I mean, but I have to walk the talk.
Yeah.
That's for me important. If I say it, I walk the talk.
Yeah.
And that's hard sometimes.
Yeah.
You get a little scared and close everything. Then you get back up again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all about, too, for me, it feels like giving your power away. Having somebody else saying, here you go, you make all the decisions for me. And, we're not on board with that.
Yeah, I think you could see and it doesn't matter where anybody fell on it, but you could feel so much. We talk so much about getting programmed and deprogramming, and you could feel all the message from both sides. I mean, I'm taking sides on anything. All the messaging, it almost feels, everything feels so fake. Everything feels so blown up on one or the other, and it's all so blown up, and it's gotten so magnified and magnified and magnified. And I am glad, for me it did, because it did make me see that I still have that one way or the other. And it was still in there, and that was surprising to me. And I think so many times we see that stuff, something that we thought we'd gotten past, and when it's still there, there's a part of me that wanted to say, oh, no, it's not there. I don't care. It's not there. But then I'm like, dude, it is there.
Yeah.
It's still there. And we can talk. If anyone feels that, like I said, it's something that you've noticed you thought you cleared, but you hadn't. Or you thought you disconnected them, but it's still in the body, and you still feel it, and you try to, like I said, I was trying to deny it. Like, oh, no, it's not there. And I'm like, oh, no, it's still there. And the more I try to deny it, the more I'm noticing it's there. So, and working on trying to clear that from my body template. So, I don't know, we can just discuss that. He wants to go first. You want to go first, Leopold? Because you have been going. Why don't you go first this time?
Okay. Yes, I noticed daily that there is like an onion, and you peel and you peel and you peel and you peel. So all I can say yes to everything. And have I peeled enough in some areas in my life? Yes. And actually, as you said, I thought I was done, but the universe tested me later, and I was not done. And in the beginning, I was sad. I was angry at myself. I was not good at myself, the self-esteem and everything. So I dipped a lot in the beginning, but then I catch myself with self-love, and lately the sentence, I am the universe, I can't be sad. I love that sentence.
Yeah.
So yes to that. And I have noticed a lot of areas that I was not done. So I will still go on.
Yeah. Man, when that comes back around, when you think you've
Mhm.
cleared something and it comes right back in your face, you're like, no, I cleared that.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is again. Not done.
Mm-hmm.
But lately, I went into the inner child, and man, I had no idea the stuff that was going to come up from that. I mean, I really dove deep into that and still going through that. I had no idea. I just, a part of the thing was to get a picture of yourself as a child. And I looked at that picture and all I saw was purity and innocence. And I just started crying my eyes out, just looking at the picture. I mean, it just brought up and out so much for me. Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Love that.
Yeah.
Okay, Britta, you want to add anything?
Well, what's coming up is that I've actually I actually have noticed maybe in the last couple months that I actually feel like I've had a lot more fear come up, and it's always triggered when I'm out driving in the city, of course, right?
Yeah.
And I experienced that really a lot in the last several years, if not more than that. And I felt like things were getting better with that. And then all of a sudden it seems like it's kind of increased more. So, but I feel like it's just getting pushed, right? It's just getting pushed up
Yeah.
for it to clear, right? It's just,
Yeah.
I mean, it's all a good thing, but it's kind of like, oh man, I thought it was getting easier and a little better to kind of manage my energy when I'm out. And I mean, thank goodness for Leopold and tapping. And sometimes it's like, it's a
like,
lot, but that's when I
wait a minute. Didn't we just celebrate getting clearing that?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's,
Yeah, and then
Yes.
it comes back and you're like, what the?
Yeah.
that's when
Deeper
like
layers.
you got the tapping and I get the magnesium and
Yeah.
you got all the different tools and
Awesome.
just
Well, I think we don't even realize how deep it all is. And that's why when I always iterated a lot of the stuff I do, if anyone tells you they did it in 20 minutes, they're lying. They didn't do shit in 20 minutes, okay? They just don't realize they haven't gotten there yet. Because, I mean, I've been hardcore in this for probably about 10 years. And, yeah, like as Leopold beautifully puts it, we do pat ourselves on the back. But so you still can have that frustration come up when you feel like, oh, I thought I was done with that, or I thought I'd gotten past that, and look, here I am again, and boy, what's gonna happen here? What's gonna happen there? But I do want to unless anyone has anything else, and we are open for questions. If anyone wants to pop a question in the chat, they can, or even after I post this, if anyone has a question, you can pose it to whoever, and I'll make sure they get the question, and maybe they'll do a live video to answer it for you. And we might come back and do this again, either on here or one of my other counterparts channels. We can do it on one of your channels next time. Hopefully I can get this group on YouTube so we can do lives on YouTube, maybe once a month. I think that would be fun too. On anyone's channel who wants to do it, or I'll do it on my YouTube. We just talked about Leopold tapping. He did show us a big tapping exercise on a live that is now posted on YouTube. So if anyone wants to go on that, they can check my channel and see that. And I want to talk a little bit about one other subject. And like I said, maybe I could bring anything else in. This is just a fun one I did about something else I watched where they showed this girl kind of living her life out of order. You know, like she would jump to being a kid and she jumped to when she was going to die and she jumped back. And it got me thinking about even in my human consciousness, like some days I'm just was sad. And I'm like, was my consciousness jumping forward to a part where something was happening already, where something happened where it would make me sad? But I just felt the sadness. I didn't connect that I was moving in and out of timelines, moving up and down in frequencies, up in timeline, you know, or experiencing different timelines. And I didn't feel like at the time it's multidimensional because I don't really feel like we tap into that till we start our ascension, where you can kind of start to take that from human realities to multidimensional realities. But it is kind of fun to see, how do you guys feel like your consciousness travels? Mine started dreaming a lot. I had a year of classes on dreaming and tapping into your dreams. And I know that's where I started really being able to see. But like for me, like at 10:30 when I was like, oh wait, there might be confusion about the time. Now, am I jumping forward? Is my consciousness reading my field? But this has already happened because there's no time anyway, and it's already happened anyway. And I know, oh wait, I want to clarify the time because of daylight savings time. I don't know if you guys get where I'm going with this. Where do you have those experiences? I think they're kind of fun to bring them forward because a lot of people have this stuff happen, like deja vu. That's another great one where I saw this. Wait, did my consciousness jump to where that was already happening and then it's bleeding over now? Because I always say there's no closed systems. Everything's going to bleed over. Whether in our human consciousness, it's just a few of our timelines are bleeding over, or in our multidimensional consciousness, all of our multidimensional cells timelines start bleeding over. But I think it's just a fun topic. I want to keep this around an hour because I think Instagram might have an issue with lives longer than an hour being able to share them. I want to make sure all of you guys can share this on your platforms. So we can go around, or if you want to bring something else up, you can bring something else up. But I think that's just kind of a fun one to kind of lighten it up at the end a little bit.
I think it's good subject.
Okay.
And you talk about deja vu. It's really strong sometimes. I can't explain why it is, but it's when I'm in flow, you know the feeling when you go up and everything just happens as it should happen. Then I got the deja vu, and often it comes into reality as well. So that's the conscious I can explain. You're not crazy. That feeling, you know, you have it from your kids. I remember I have it when I was little, and it's something we are taught not to listen to anymore. It's natural, the intuition, as you say, and for me it's natural. And now I listen when that feeling comes up, that conscious of me, because it's me. I'm all me. Yeah.
Okay. You want to go, Britta, Colette? Who wants to go first?
I'll go. I really just, like Leo was saying, like a knowing, you know, you just know things. You don't know how you know them, but you just know that, you know, something is good or something is not good. You just know it. And for me, just paying attention and really listening and not just ignoring it, you know, which was a pattern for me in the beginning. But now I am, you know, I just know that this is the way to go. You can go on this timeline. If you don't do that, you're going to go, you know, the other, you know, it's not going to be so good. So you don't know how you know, you just know.
That's important.
Yeah, listening,
Okay, Britta, you have anything you want to add to that?
I think I'm good. I don't have anything coming forward. I want to I want to share something, but nothing's coming in. So maybe this is a time to close out.
Okay, Leopold, go.
Yeah, you go.
In the beginning, I know that I was right feeling the things I felt, and I wanted to do things that was in alignment, but I didn't. I was afraid to. I didn't didn't put in the effort because I didn't want to show up in other people's radar.
Mm-hmm.
But I did eventually, and I'm really, really happy that I followed my conscience at last.
Do you think that's because you could see now how it's aligned, and back then you couldn't see how it was aligned, and now once you can see how it does connect, it makes it easier to go that way?
The feeling you have, trust the feeling. It just grows, and if you don't listen, it will hit you in the back.
Yeah.
So follow the feeling. You're perfectly right to follow it, and it's correct. Your own feelings.
Yes, and it usually comes from the heart, right? Yeah.
So how do you tell the difference? This is another question I'll get when you think it's from the heart, but maybe it's just because that's the way we want it to go. Right? You know, like I wanted to go that way, so I'm going to say, you know what, I'm going to say this is how it's going to, it's kind of like, I know when I was really in my human consciousness, if you had an issue, you would know what friend to call to get the answer you wanted. You had some friends that were super hard ass and you knew they would tell you one thing, and you'd have friends that were total marshmallows and they'd tell you something else. So you'd game the system. You'd call the one to tell you what you wanted to hear, right? Because you knew if I call her, she's going to tell me to dump him. If I call this person, they'll tell me to stay with him. So I'm going to go, I know which way to go, right? I know who's going to say what, because there are different aspects of me. Whichever way I'm leaning, I'm going to call that person and I'll hear what I want to hear. How do you tell the difference when it is, this is what I want to hear, as but not aligned, as in this is aligned but not what I want to hear?
Yeah.
You can give an example. We can kind of make this our closeout. I'll have everyone speak it if you want. You don't have to if you don't want to. Like, how do you tell the difference? Because I still can feel that sometimes. Me, like I wanted to go this way, but I don't think that's the aligned way. And I actually don't think. I feel that's not the aligned way. Go ahead, Britta.
Yeah, well,
you want to?
It just makes me. It's just kind of. I find myself having to remember that it's like if I'm going back and forth and I'm confused, and it's like, okay, well that's my sign that I'm in my head, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like if I'm kind of going back and forth onto on things, a decision, and then just like letting it go.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not a decision I need to make right away.
Yeah.
Very good.
Wait, and just to have like create some time to sit with it outside or sit with it in meditation or but yeah, I mean, there's definitely seen more things that like, oh, I really wanted to do that thing, and it was really like very powerful, I think, for my human, and then it's like I just know it's not aligned, and it just kind of then like lets go, it lets go, and then all of a sudden it's gone, and it's like, oh yeah, I've forgotten that I really wanted that thing. It was easy. It's getting easier to detach from them. So, yeah, I was feeling a lot of frequencies in my head and my ears the last 10 minutes. So it's maybe why I'm feeling a little more spacey, guys. So thanks for.
No, I think you hit on one really big. I had someone that would used to say, no good decision is made at 2 a.m. in the morning, and that's kind of what I try to tell myself when I'm really in my head about something. And I think you hit on an important part, the confusion part. No good decision comes from when you have to really polarize an angel and a devil on one shoulder. It's like, I don't know, neither one of them's probably right now. There's another one. Neither one's aligned right now. Let me see if there's another answer. Yeah. Because nothing good comes from rushing to make a choice. And I've always said also, if you're rushed to make a choice, it's either that's not respectful, someone's rushing you to make a choice, or we waited too long to make a choice and now the whole thing's collapsing because I didn't want to make one. So now it's falling on top of me because I didn't want to make one and I had the time, but I wasted it. It kind of falls into two camps for me, whether it's I need to take the time, or wait, you've had the time and you just fucked around and didn't do it. So Leopold, Why don't you go next, and then we'll get Colette.
Two things. When I don't remember, is it months or weeks ago when we talked with Lisa and Marissa about trusting oneself?
2 weeks ago? Maybe 2
I
weeks
don't-
ago.
Okay, that's really important. That has helped me. That has helped me a lot to trust myself.
Mm-hmm.
When I got the positive feeling, I'm in alignment. When anything negative, confusing, stressful, I'm in my head.
Okay.
That's my version of it.
Mm-hmm. I like that too.
So when I started to trust myself, everything get more aligned.
Mm-hmm.
I love myself more. I take care of myself more.